Hey, welcome to Gold Scratch. So, as you can see, I'm standing here next to Todd Brown's 389 Pontiac engine, ready to go on the run stand. But that's not what this video is about. Today, this video is about my tour of Forsyth College in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. And in previous videos, I mentioned my son Mike and I were going to go there, and I was going to make a presentation. So that's been done. But what happened when we were there, everything's moving pretty fast. I met Brian Hambly and Galen Biggs, who were the two gentlemen that invited me down there, instructors at Forsyth College. And the program is race car engineering. So how many car guys would like to go to college to learn how to do what most of us learned the hard way, right? So learn it the right way with the right facilities, smart instructors, knowledgeable, organized program. So these guys are pretty lucky, I think. But anyway, the first video, which I'm introducing today, we're back, but I didn't do a very good job of introducing Brian and Galen. Everything was kind of in progress, so I'm going to do that. And then the next clip of this video, you'll see the tour. Brian and Galen are going to take us on a tour of the facility, and that will be one video. We'll make a separate video of the presentation I made to the class of 2024 race car engineering on fasteners. So if you're interested in fasteners, pretty sure there'll be something in there that will be helpful to you anyway. So just by way of introduction, Brian Hambly is my contact. Brian and I both came from Sault Ste. Marie, Canada, a long time ago, and it's at the very tip of northern Michigan, so lots of interaction across the border to do with racing. And Brian raced late model stock cars up there, but he left in 1982 or so and moved to Grand Rapids, and he worked for Paul Gentilozzi Racing. That is, I think, Champ cars, Indy type cars, and he was building Indy type car engines for Paul Gentilozzi's team, and later moved to Charlotte area, Concord, I guess, in that area. And Brian's had a long career as an engine builder and an engine tuner. He's worked for Robert Yates engines. He's worked for Pro Motor Sports. He's built and tested and tuned a whole variety of engines and every kind of racing pretty much that you can imagine. He was the engine tuner for the Petty cars, the 44 and 45, Kyle Petty, Andretti, a whole bunch of other guys. He also was a tuner for a lot of the truck series with lots of wins and championships, guys like Carl Edwards and all those guys. So Brian's had a nice long career. So he runs into Galen Biggs. Galen was a NASCAR engine inspector. And so picture this, Brian's building the engines and tuning them, and Galen's inspecting them. So that's how they got to know each other. They're still friends. And Galen is the program coordinator at Forsyth College, and Galen brought Brian on as an instructor. And that's how I got down here. So just want to introduce these guys. Pretty cool guys, lots of deep, dense knowledge and background in cars and engines, and we had a good time with them. And you're going to see the tour of this amazing facility. If you're interested in learning how to build not just race car engines, race cars of all types, there's guys in that class that are part of drag racing teams and circle track teams at a very high level. That's the way to learn, guys. And if you have the opportunity, certainly when I graduated high school, if I could have gone there, that would have been my choice. So next clip will be the tour itself. You'll see Brian and Galen, and then I hope you enjoy the tour of Forsyth College. Hey, welcome to Gold Scratch, and we're here at Forsyth Community College in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. My longtime friend Brian Hambly and Galen Biggs. From Forsyth College. Brian's an instructor and Galen's his boss, I guess, hey, sort of thing, right? So there you go. That's pretty cool. So I haven't seen Brian for more than 10 years, so it's pretty fun. We just got here. So I want to let you guys say what you want to say about it and show us around and go from here. Mike will follow us. So,
well, thank y'all for coming out. For one thing, from all the way from Canada, and that
my pleasure.
Means a lot. Your YouTube show is very popular, and we love the information that you're giving
Thank you very much.
out to the public and our students and all students.
We're gonna have fun. We're gonna have fun today.
Around the world there. So
good.
So we're just thankful that you're a friend of Brian's and we got connected and
cool. And
we're looking forward to what you have for us today.
Good. Brian?
Well, almost 50 years ago, Alan was my instructor at Sault College in Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario, when I was in the millwrights training course, and he taught the fastener portion of it, which he's going to do for the students today.
You reminded me of that yesterday. I forgot. I told Mike I forgot all about that a long time ago. Yeah,
some things you don't forget. The fastener portion of it is one of the single most important things about any sort of motorsports.
Well, in the steel industry, fasteners are critical. It's a big, big deal, right? So that's why I took a big interest in it. That was my job, right? So anyway, so we're gonna try and bring you guys, fill you guys with information anyway today. So it'll be fun. We got a beautiful facility here. Oh man, look at the vehicles you got here, eh?
Automotive program. This part of it's funded by Toyota.
Oh, it is. Is that right, eh?
Vehicles come from the manufacturer. Once they get done with them, they're gonna go to the crusher with all of them.
What's that again?
All of those cars go to the crusher after they get done with the instruction. They bug them with different things for the students to try to figure out the problems. But,
okay.
But just so there's no liability or anything. For
Is that right?
That they all be destroyed afterwards.
Isn't that something? That's cool.
They keep a good supply.
Okay.
Our race car setup laboratory work this semester.
Stay close to me, Galen, so we can hear you.
The race car setup class. We've got a few cars here. Got a Allison Legacy car here. Got a pull down rig car that we basically use for the setup car for the full pull down rig. Got an old NASCAR COT car out here outside of the room that you walk by is our show car that our 383 small block Chevy that students built this semester. We finished dyno testing it on Saturday. It's ready to
how much power did it make?
How
much power did it make?
Well, it's kind of weak, I would say, probably about 425.
383. That's kind of average for street 383.
Yeah, street.
You can make more, but you got to rev them higher. That's all.
We kind of want it to stay more on the safe side.
Yeah, that's kind of what I build. Really, that's typically what I build. Yeah.
But the students they built that engine. They were hands on.
Most important to me on the dyno is no parts come flying out of it.
That is the most part.
Power is secondary.
Yeah, exactly.
There's no oil on the floor when you're done. That's the point, right? So good, cool.
The LS1 motor the students built last semester is still intact. It's been fully dyno tested. And the performance is right exactly where we thought it'd be. And the students did every single nut and bolt on the whole motor.
Yeah, good.
I just oversaw the whole thing.
Yeah, cool. Cool. Your pull down rig, the only pull down rig I ever worked on, it was up like 4 feet in the air, Brian. That one's right on the ground.
This is that's actually not produced anymore. This is one of the original DRP pull down rigs.
Okay. The one we use back home is, like I say, you go up on a ramp, pulls up with a cable, and you can walk under the car. Right?
There's a half a dozen different styles of them, but this is really basic. It's portable. It does the basics and it works just fine. We can pull the car down to ride height and measure bump steer, tow, and various other things that they can see it in a dynamic state. Just
not nice to work on it that way too, really.
So we did the very basics. I showed the students how to set with stringing the car and doing the plain old framing level, framing square and a level. And that is actually the last Bush car that was built by Steve Levitt for Brian Vickers. When Brian Vickers stopped racing in the Bush Series. And CV Products had that in their showroom.
That was a Bush car, right?
Yeah. It was almost complete, less a body. And they stopped racing in the Bush Series, so it was donated to the school a few years later, which is fabulous. We have a complete, was state-of-the-art 20 years ago.
Yeah, for sure.
Because nothing's really changed.
No. Every year they come out, we got to have this, you got to have that. 20 years later, they're about the same as they were 20. There's not that much difference.
Well, it's all about holding 4 tires on and protecting the driver. Other than that, nothing.
Keeping 4 tires on ground in the corner. That's the whole deal, right? So
on the car side, we have another shop that's on the other side of the building. That's our fabrication lab, where we have a welding lab in the back. And, and up front, we have 2 surface plates where we work off of. We actually have our drag car that's in the process. I hear you have a history in drag racing.
So I started out drag racing. And, I started.
Probably, as far as me, myself, I've done more drag racing.
Oh, yeah, right? Okay.
We got a little 89 Fox body Mustang that we're getting ready to back half and kind of build it to kind of the NHRA super stock rule book. Kind of, but engine-wise, it's still up in the air what direction we're going to go, whether we're going to go with the small block Ford or go with the LS, or maybe turbocharged.
LSs are great engines. They sure are ugly, though. Eh? Oh, my God.
But they're so easy to work on.
Oh, I know.
Where were those things 50 years ago when I was racing?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Galen and Brian, we're back again. We're going to go for a little tour of the machine shop and whatever these guys want to show us here.
So this is our automotive machining area. We got some old school automotive machining over here. We got some CNC machines over here, kind of give a display of the modern way of machining. Not a lot of engine work done on those CNC machines. We'll do most of the engine work on these.
Well, let's have a closer look. Let's have a closer look here. So let's just stick together, eh? Stay close together. So.
Got a little measuring project going on with the students now, where they're having to measure up all the parts and pieces. Short block assembly and do a kind of a halfway build sheet, a little short block build sheet. That's one of our graded assignments that we got going on with them.
Cool. Looks pretty familiar.
The learning curve on dial bore gauges seems to be the steepest.
Is that right? No kidding, eh? Boy, dial bore gauges are so much easier to use than any other way.
This is the LS. So started out as a junkyard truck 5.3 LS that the students built in the second year engine class in last fall. And we have dynoed it on the carburetor and made 450 horsepower. We're getting ready to go back on the dyno and hook the EFI up to it. So,
you're going to EFI, eh? But it's got big heads on it, that's for sure.
The AFR heads.
They sure are ugly, though, eh?
But it makes power.
Absolutely. Technically, it's
Gen 1 small block.
Absolutely. No question.
But like the other engine in there, the students done all the work to it.
Very nice.
They're pretty proud of it.
You're going to dyno that engine again, you said?
Again, with fuel injection.
With fuel
injection. Okay. Sure.
And maybe one of these days we might put turbocharger to it too. Probably not in the next. Well, we have only 1 week left this semester, and we got a group of students that's going to graduate after this week.
So. Is it going to make more power on fuel injection?
That's kind of up in the air about whether it's going to.
They don't necessarily make more power, do they?
All the machine work was done by the students. It was bored 30 over on the boring bar and honed on the.
So they're getting that level. They're doing machining.
Yeah, they did all the machine work.
Cool.
It didn't need to be decked. The LS block was perfect, front to rear, side to side.
They're pretty flat. They're pretty high up. Piston's pretty high anyway, aren't they?
Well, I wasn't worried about that. I was worried about ramp on the decks, too high on the front versus the back, or vice versa. But when measured, it was right where we needed to be.
Cool.
We've got the Quickway FN boring bar set up over there. Got a Sun and CV616 hone and a line hone, and the students did all the machining processes.
Really, eh? That's cool, yeah. When are you going to do this?
So probably we hope to fire up Thursday morning with it. We'll get it before the end of class today. We'll hope to have it hooked up, at least hooked up to the drive assembly and have a few things hooked up to it. But we still got some fuel system plumbing to do and everything to get finished up and get
Okay.
all our wiring hooked up.
Yep.
But this is
This is your
yeah,
dyno room.
we had a car show event here Saturday where the 383 was kind of showed off on our dyno test with it on
Okay.
Saturday, or else if we wasn't in the transition, we'd still have it on there to be able to.
Yeah, it would have
for
been
your
nice to
show
have it running,
today.
But yeah.
But yeah, we're kind of running out of time to get everything done as far as the end of this semester. So
Sure.
So we wanted to go ahead and
Cool.
get that project done.
Yeah. Pretty cool stuff. Yeah, I love dyno. I love dyno days. It's I make the customer bring the coffee and the donuts, and it's a party for us.
Yeah.
So where I go is a private dyno.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a machine shop. This guy his dad was into drag racing for years. So it's out on a farm. Instead of having a barn, they have a workshop, and he's got the dyno in it. So we just play around all day long with it. It's fun, really.
Mm-hmm.
So make
Oh yeah.
10 or 15 pulls, and sometimes you have a few problems, but most of the time it goes pretty good. So
Mm-hmm.
I like the dyno every engine. Some customers, we've had a case where put the engine on the dyno and start pulling, and the customer says, "You're not doing that to my engine."
Yeah.
He's afraid you're going to hurt it. You're not going to hurt it. If you are, there's something wrong with it, right? So,
Right.
but
Well,
people aren't used to hearing that, right? So,
well, it's a
how it
good
works.
way. Of course, we got the dyno. We got the fire up stand back here. We on the 383. We started out on the little fire up stand. I think you got one.
I have one too. Yeah,
Similar
yeah.
to it I've seen on your show.
Yeah.
That we kind of done the break-in process with that.
Yeah, by the time I get to the dyno, the cam's broken in. There's no leaks. All that stuff's taken care of, and so we get on the dyno and start it up and start pulling, right? So it's ready to go.
It's good to do that, as you know, on the fire up stand, because if time is money when you're renting dyno time.
$100 an hour.
So yeah, it's good to have all the leaks and
Absolutely.
all the break-in process done before you do.
I get that done at home, and when it gets there, it's ready to rock and roll, right? So yeah, it's a nice way to do it. So cool, very nice. Let's keep going.
This. We talked about this earlier.
Oh, there's your water tank. Yeah, I was wondering where your water tank was.
It's not enough.
Huh?
It's not big enough.
Is that right? Yeah.
This is our. I haven't talked with anybody who has any experience with this, but you can see where of course, this is the drive. It would be a kind of a belt-driven thing, but the camshaft in here.
This is a Spintron. You call it Spintron? Is that what you call it or not?
I think this is more of a camshaft break-in machine that we have not used. We'd like to probably see. You got your oil temperature and your oil pressure gauge over here to kind of see where you're at with that. But yeah.
It'd be a lot more stress if I had my cams on here before I put them in. Because it doesn't matter how many you do, how careful you are. Every time you start one up, you're holding your breath for the first 5 minutes, right? Because you just don't know. I have never lost one, but you just never know when you're going to lose one, right?
Yeah.
And you see if you watch videos, there's guys blowing them all the time, So it's a big problem.
Yeah.
Right? So
it's been some trial and error with that, sure.
For sure, yeah, that's pretty cool.
Nice.
Still lots of flat tapping cams around.
Yeah.
And you can make power with them too. That's not a problem. It's just life, So. You got flow bench,
Superflow 600 flow bench. Still, we don't have the digital flow com. We still with the old manometer set up and everything. You do your calculations. It works good. And kind of go through some flow tests on cylinder heads, intake manifolds.
Well, a guy I work with back in Canada has a flow bench too, and he flows heads for me and stuff. Bill Little, he's a big drag racing guy. They come down to the States and race super stock. And make amazing power with like quadrajet carburetors and stock heads, and it's amazing how much power these guys make. Crazy camshafts, right? That's how they do drag racing cars, right? But
we were at the NHRA event this past weekend, seeing one of those quadrajets on a super stock car.
You can make 800 horsepower with a quadrajet. It's amazing,
Yeah,
it is.
I have some experience with a a lot of people don't really like them because they're kind of more temperamental.
They don't understand them. That's the big problem. Yes, yeah. But you can, guys that know, we got a guy back there. He's a quadrijet specialist. He's got all the little whole board of the needles and seats and all that stuff, eh? And that's his life, is making quadrijets work, right? So it's pretty cool.
So as part of our full machine shop facility here, we've got the old faithful Blockmaster. It's an antique, but it does an excellent job.
Oh yeah, deck and a block.
Yep.
Yeah, cool.
That's just a practice block.
Oh, is it? Yeah. How low is the deck?
We keep going. No, the students need to learn setups and.
Oh yeah, you got to get it square, man.
And we've got several practice blocks.
Okay, sure.
And along with that, we've also got the Quickway FN boring bar there. And the students last semester bored the LS motor.
On that?
Yeah, on that.
Is that right, eh? Yeah.
Every single student
seen one like that.
bored at least 3 holes, and they got them to within 2000s, which is really good to, learning on a boring bar.
Absolutely.
It's hard to get better than that on a portable type boring bar.
Yeah, I've never seen one before, actually.
Oh, really?
No.
Does a great job. It's really fast to set up.
Is that right, eh? Yeah.
It's also obsolete, but they're
Sure. I'm not a machinist. I contract that stuff out.
behind you. We've got the Professor Biggs will tell you about the balancing
Yeah,
machine.
That's pretty cool. You got the bob weights all set up, and
Yeah, bob weight set up. Got the little rubber drive belt. That's what spins it up, and we got the little degree wheel there with the laser there that kind of, and the trigger.
Oh, that's cool.
Trigger on it that kind of gives you position of where the crankshaft is, and that'll tell you what angle you need to be at,
Where the weight is,
where your weight needs to be.
What crank is that anyway?
That's a LS crank.
It is, eh? Okay.
That's one of the probably very similar to the one that's in the engine over here, because we went with the stock crank. I think the next year's build we're going to have a new crank for that build, but that one we went with the original in it. So.
That's pretty cool. These kids are lucky to be able to learn this way, to learn the right way from the ground up, eh? So.
Well, it's nice that the school has a full machine shop. Obviously we've got the basic Sun and CV616
machine, eh?
which most automotive machine shops I've been in either has a CK10 or this.
CK10 is the one I've seen most of the time, yeah. So.
Professor Biggs prefers the CK10.
Yeah, I would probably trade this one in for us.
I think every one I've seen in Ontario is a CK10. Yeah.
And we've got your crank polishing rig there.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. You can do it all, right? So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Oh, right around the corner here is our Sun and CH100 align hone, which the students are all proficient in.
They are, eh? Yeah. Cool.
Doing align hones.
What block is that anyway? Oh, it's it's 4-wheel Chevrolet.
Aftermarket display caps have been added to that one.
Yeah.
There.
You even got extensions on the. This is something that Wilson did back in the day, because he went 2-bolt blocks, and they didn't have 4-bolt blocks. Is you put a strap on the top, then you get longer bolts, right? Longer main bearing bolts, and the strap stiffens it up, right? So, yeah, cool.
You probably know what this is.
Yeah, well, I know what it is to look at it, but I've never worked on one. No.
This is from the Clay Milliken top fuel dragster.
It's a dragster
from last year.
Yeah.
I think when they get to that stage, you make clots out of it.
Oh, okay. That's what it looks. That's the before and after, is it?
Yeah.
Look, like that's what happens when things go wrong. Modulus of elasticity. I'm going to talk about that. So that's pretty cool. You did that last weekend? No,
last year.
That's last year. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just some.
The piston doesn't look all that big, though. Eh? How big is that? How big is the engine?
I'm not sure of the cubic inches.
Well, it's a 500-inch limit.
It is, eh?
On the fuel engine, same as Pro Stock.
Okay.
Yeah, I think maybe, and it's different between top fuel and funny car. I think, as far as the bore and stroke combination.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Use. Yeah. It's I think it's maybe longer stroke in funny car than top fuel.
Is it? Yeah, I wouldn't. That's out of my.
Ryan's group might know more about that for sure. It's out of my wheelhouse.
Machine shop I used back in Ontario, Atchison Machine. They won the IHRA funny car championship 3 times. back almost 20 years ago now. But they have a blower dyno, and these guys are into pretty heavy stuff. That's not what they do for me, but that's pretty cool stuff for sure. Yeah, this is the head off of it, eh?
Yeah, as you can see,
stick your hand in
when there's a little puff of smoke at the end of the run.
Look at that.
That might have been a big puff of smoke.
When things go wrong, guys, look at that. All stuck right in there sideways, eh?
It's amazing how much damage they can do in 3 seconds.
Absolutely, yeah. Now, what caused that? Did it drop the valve first, or?
There's,
I don't know.
it could be related to that.
Yeah.
These are just sample parts that they're going to the scrap bin, so they said I could bring them to the school and show the students.
Yeah,
because people always ask, how long is the motor going to last? Well, a typical TA2 motor, which is an LS3, will go 3,000 miles, easy race miles. And these top fuel motors, if they can last 3 seconds,
they're happy.
It's a very good day. So it's everything in between.
Yeah.
And we try to cover all the aspects of virtually everything auto racing in here. There's drag race enthusiasts here, road race enthusiasts, and of course, being in NASCAR country, everybody's interested in that. But
absolutely,
to get to that level, you have to learn all this first.
Well, you got lots of drag racing around here too, not just NASCAR. It's NASCAR, but you got lots of drag racing.
The Rick Ware top fuel team that's driven by Clay Milliken's over in Mooresville.
Okay,
that's where their shop's
That's where they are.
Yeah, they moved from Indianapolis down here to be close to everything.
Yeah,
because Pro Motor Engines does their machine work.
Okay,
and the bottom end stuff. So they've set up shop in there.
Pretty cool. Who makes that head?
Don Schumacher's produced that one, I believe.
Is that right? Yeah. Right.
Brownsburg, Indiana.
You stick your head in there. So.
Yes.
Big ports, eh?
Into those Hemi chambers.
My buddy back there just built a blower motor for a Nova, a straight motor. It made over 1,000 horsepower. 602, I think it was, cubic inches, big block, eh? So the head didn't look much different than that, actually. So I don't know why somebody wants 1,000 horsepower on the street, but he did anyway. So.